one thing that all developer does is to test. One of the things that makes it easier to test is to be able to create test cases whenever you need something and then be able to reuse these test cases. Today I'll show you 2 ways that Figaf can make it really easy for you to create test cases. First is, for instance, here we have an iflow. It has been processed in trace mode, and we can just click here on the Figaf logo in the CPI helper and say demo, put it into a test suite, and we will say just one message. And what the Figaf tool will do is it will connect to the CPI system, download all the messages, and then that is actually all that we need to do to create a test case. Now we have one test case with 1 incoming and 33 outgoing messages, and we just click here to create the test case, and now we can run this test case on all the different scenarios that we have, or just say here, let's just run it, which will then send it back into the system, and we can see if it creates the same result as we would expect it to do. If it's not, we can update it to make sure that it is following the guides that we want and ignore elements that does not complain or does not work. So let's see, we can see that there's quite a number of things that has been processed successfully, and that means that our test case has been created correctly. The other scenario is that if, for instance, we want to create a test case based on the scenario that we just have, so here we have selected the iflow. We can say create test case, we can add it to the same test suite, and now we can go in and say, hey, we know what are the payloads that we have for this. So we can say we have an inbound and an outbound message for this. We can specify that the inbound message is the sample and the outbound is also going just to be the sample. And then the challenge is then to find the right end step here. So we'll select this end step, and then we can create the test case based on this, and we can run this test case. It is a part of the test suite, so we can run it together, and we can then see, okay, so what is it actually producing? And we would expect that this one would fetch a lot more messages than the one we just have. Sometimes when you are doing this, we are not able to find the correct branch ID, all these things, so that could vary when you're creating this. But now we have created a new test case. We can simply just select here, and then we can update the test case, ensuring that we now have a test case that is valid based on this input. This is one of the things that makes it a lot easier for you to work with SAP Integration, creating test cases, managing these things, and always make sure you have valid test cases that you can run whenever you need to do any works. I hope you liked it. You can see a lot more features of what the Figaf tool can do and how it can actually improve the way you're working with SAP Integration. Thank you.